Starborn. Remember, to be a star, you have to shine your own light, follow your own path, and not be afraid of the darkness, because that's when stars shine brightest. And we're going to be talking about a lot of light in the sky this Saturday when we have a full moon at 27 degrees of Libra. And yet, if you've been looking at our website, starborninstitute.org, you'd already know that the title of tonight's show is Power Purge. So, since Libra rules partnership, it's strange that we would be talking about something where there is a purge of a partner, but that is probably what's happening at a very high, powerful level somewhere in the world this week or by this weekend, and there can be a good reason for that. And that is because, first of all, we know that Libra rules the traditional 7th house of love and marriage and peace and partnership and beauty and the arts and diplomacy and compromise, and it rules fairness and balance, and above all, it rules the law and all legal contracts. But under a full moon, the moon opposes the sun. So the full moon is at 27 degrees of Libra, and it is being opposed by the sun at 27 degrees of Aries. And so if Libra rules partnership, Aries sort of rules the opposite. It rules being a pioneer, going out on your own, doing things your way, being first. And so the sun and the moon are opposing each other, and that can lead to indecision or confusion. But where is this power purge coming in? It is because there is a third planet in a cardinal sign which is harshly squaring the lights. And it is the planet of power, because Pluto is now in Capricorn, a sign that rules large corporations or government agencies or big organizations, and Pluto rules the top management in them. And Pluto is at the 29th degree of fate in Capricorn under the full moon. So that 29th degree of Pluto, which there's no more room to move in the sign, it's sort of a now or never type of thing, that Pluto is squaring the full moon at 27 degrees of Libra, and it's also squaring the sun at 27 degrees of Aries. And so, since Pluto does represent management in high places, or say the owners of something, it indicates that there has come about a very fateful time now when a power purge can lead to changes in management. And this would be at a very high level. And it could be for a variety of reasons. But the one thing I want to stress is that none of the reasons are personal. Capricorn is a business sign, and it's being well fortified. There are planets in Taurus that are trining it. And so it's simply that for the good of an organization, or the good of a group, or the good of an agency, there has to be a power purge. Now, why is that? Well, it could be just because there is a contentious partnership going on. Some sort of a partnership in an organization where, people are not getting along. And they could be vying for power. Maybe they both want to be powerful, but there's only room for one at the top. Who knows? So a contentious partnership may undergo a power purge. Maybe that just has to be over for the good of the organization. Not because two people can't get along. I mean, it's contentious. It shows that they haven't been getting along. But it is for the good of the organization that there would be a power purge. Or it could simply be that somebody just isn't doing their job, but they're at a pretty high level and they're not doing their job. And so that threatens the success of everyone underneath them as well. So that could be a reason for a power purge. is that at some level somebody's not doing their job. Or it could be that the terms of a contract are have been violated in one way or another, making the contract null and void. So that, okay, the contract doesn't hold anymore because somebody violated the terms of it. And because of that, if the contract is null and void, there can be a power purge because of that as well. Or there can simply be someone around at some higher level of management that has been making rather snide little power plays or getting somebody else to help them do that behind the scene to cause dissension. You know, if they don't get their way, then they're going to make sure nobody else gets their way either. You know, there's one person like that in every organization. So there could be a power purge for the good of the company or the agency, because as this information comes to light, the mounting dissension about it, in other words, sort of the stress and the worry that it's causing other people, is a reason to have a power purge. It's a reason to say goodbye. So what is the outcome? Well, I said it was changes at the top, didn't I? It has to be, I think, a decision made at the top, but it's also changes at the top. And what it can result in is that somebody is out of a very lucrative job. It would have been well-paying, but they're out of that job. That's it. The power purge is for the good of the group or the good of the organization, or something that will actually bring relief or help the organization on with its work, or the government agency or the corporation. And so that's what's going to happen. The power purge means somebody is out of a very lucrative job. But there could have been some pretty good reasons for it. But the number one reason is not personal. It is that it's for the betterment of the organization that somebody goes. So they do. You know, somebody at the top makes that decision. But they would have a very good reason for doing it, and it would be with the betterment of the organization in mind. So what else is going on in this power purge era under the full moon in Libra? Well, another thing that is going on that is wonderful is that there can be an easing of financial pressure right now. And the reason why is that last week, remember, all three malefic planets were squaring each other. Mars and Saturn, in fact, were at the same degree, the 23rd degree, and they were in Aquarius, the sign of the future, and they were squaring Uranus in Taurus, which is a fixed financial sign. For one thing, it rules investments. Okay, so there would have been some big argument about money, and there can be an easing of a financial situation now, and that is because Mars has moved on. It's no longer in Aquarius. It has moved into Pisces and joined three wonderful planets in Pisces. Mars isn't very happy in Pisces, but that's where it is now, and that means there's only two malefic planets, Saturn in Aquarius and Uranus in Taurus, that are squaring each other. And that Uranus has backup not only from Pluto and Capricorn, but another planet has changed signs. Mercury has moved into Taurus. And Mercury is generally a planet of news and of change. And so there can be some change in finances that can ease tension or ease people's worries, and that could be good for everyone. So that's a nice thing. But bottom line right now is that since Mars has moved into Pisces, and Pisces rules things behind the scenes, it simply means that danger lurks behind the scenes. And so you have to be extra safety conscious, extra careful, because danger lurks behind the scenes. You may not get too far because Venus and Jupiter and Neptune are also in Pisces. But you have to keep your guard up a little bit now, and sort of don't let things that seem a little dangerous get too close to you, because danger lurks behind the scenes. And that's why you need to be a little bit more cautious and careful when you're out and about, if you can be. Okay, what does this idea of a power purge mean to all 12 of the sun signs? Well, Aries, you know, yes, the full moon on Saturday in Libra at 27 degrees exactly opposes the sun in your sign at 27 degrees also. But the real culprit in all of this, the thing that's powerful, is that Pluto has reached the 29th degree of fate in Capricorn, and it is squaring the sun at 27 degrees in your sign, Aries. So yes, there can be indecision and confusion around because the lights are opposing each other, but you, in one way or another, Aries, you will be affected somehow by a power purge that someone else is going to make. And I'm not saying that you caused it or anything, but you will be affected by it because that Pluto is squaring the sun in your sign. And the sun is at 27 degrees. 27 reduces to 9. We add 2 plus 7 and it equals 9. 9 is the highest of all the single digits, and it's a finishing number. And so what I'm wondering, Aries, is due to a power purge of some sort or a change in the way things are done for the betterment of the organization, there is the possibility that you may be finished in a current capacity. In other words, maybe you're deciding you'd rather be out and be a pioneer and be on your own. And so maybe you're thinking of retiring. Or maybe you are thinking of just quitting because you'd really like to get on to something where you're completely in charge. Well, why not, Aries? I think you ought to go for that. You may also be sensing that things are going to be better for you if you are on your own a little bit more, and you would be right about that. And the sense or the anticipation of better things or better days for you can come from the fact that Jupiter is going to leave Pisces in May, I think, and it will come into your sign, and it will stay there until October. And you're going to have one wonderful summer, Aries. So I think you may be affected by a power purge in one way or another. Just remember, there's nothing personal about it. It's for the good of the organization. And instead, you can be delighted at anticipating some new beginning that puts you more in charge of something that you want. And that will be coming up this summer. So I don't think you have too much to lose, Aries. Good luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Taurus? Taurus. Well, Taurus, remember I said there's sort of an easing of financial worries right now. They're certainly not gone, but they can be easing, and there can be some change or sort of a room to move a little bit as far as what to do with your finances. And the reason why is that Mercury, the planet of the mind, which rules communication and change, has just come into your sign. But it's a fast mover, and so it has moved up to where it's actually conjuncting Uranus in your sign. Uranus is a slow mover. It's not going to be out of Taurus until 2025. But while these two planets, one of them which represents communication and change, and the other one that also represents sudden surprising change, can mean that there can be some sudden surprising change in your life, Taurus. But you know, I think the effect would be a good one. I don't know if you would think it was good to start with, but it could be what you call a blessing in disguise, Taurus. And that is because Saturn in Aquarius, which rules the future and is a slow, steady planet, is squaring Uranus and Mercury in your sign. But your sign has backup. Pluto in Capricorn is trining it. And so it can be that something is sort of coming to an end, or let me put it another way. I think something is coming to a point of completion in your life. And that completion is okay with you. And it also might allow you or give you some extra financial resources so that you can make some changes and have a better future. So I mean, I think that there's some wiggle room that you're going to have financially that will be good. And so I'd sort of look around for what else is going on in the world, Taurus, and you could find a few things that you'd like to find out more about, and you should. So you really are under good aspects, even though Saturn is squaring your sun, because Pluto is backing you up, your sign up, and Mercury has just entered your sign. So there is change. And what I think is it will give you a sense of completion, which will then set you up for doing things a little bit more your way. And I think that you would really like that. So good luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Gemini? Gemini. This is a time when I think that you get the looking around in the background of your life a little bit for new things. You might be interested in an awful lot of things. Geminis are very curious people. And that is because yours is a double-bodied sign. And that simply means it rules temporary help or part-time efforts. It rules versatility and adaptability and buying and selling and short trips and elementary education, the kind that sticks with you forever. And so, Gemini, I think that you're going to become a little bit more adaptable. Something in your life is going to start flowing a little bit more than you're used to. Okay, so you'll have to get used to that. But at the same time, I think that it's somewhat happening or just starting in the background of your life, and it's not taking over your life or anything like that, but let's just say it's sort of sitting there brewing, or simmering, and something is going to come of it. You are going to spend from about August until the next March of 2023 being extremely busy. Okay, so you're going to have a very busy fall and winter, and that's what I mean. Something that's simmering in the background of your life is going to sort of get off the ground, certainly by the end of the summer, and it's going to make you really busy. And Gemini, it's time for that. Because Geminis like to be in motion. They like to have things to do. Geminis don't know what to do with themselves if they're idle. So they like to be, following a bunch of leads, doing different things. And I think that all of that is sort of starting on different levels in your life right now. And Saturn is still trining your sun from Aquarius, which is very good. It means that you've got some solid support behind you. So you don't have anything to fear if you are anticipating making a few changes. I think that there'll be slow changes right now. After August, they're going to be real fast changes, but they'll be slowly leading up to something that you're really going to be immersed in by this fall. So that's fine. It gives you a sense of anticipation because of new things that you perhaps are going to start to do. And all I can say is I think you're going to be delighted, Gemini. So good luck. A power purge, that full moon in Libra trines your sun. So I don't think you're in on that power purge, Gemini. Because the full moon trines your sun and the sun in Aries sextiles your sun. You're not being hurt by the lights at all. And Saturn in Aquarius trines your sun too. So just try not to get bowled over by anything right now, Gemini. Just take it one day at a time because things are going to work out just fine for you. Okay, what does it mean to a Cancer? Well, Cancer, this is a time when you could actually be a little more busy behind the scenes than you had been planning on. And the reason why is that you may have started something just because you were interested in it. You may have been reading up on something, for instance, and you know there's more to it. And because there's more to it, there can be more coming your way. That's sort of from behind the scenes. Now, you have very good planets trining your sun because Neptune, Jupiter, and Venus in Pisces are trining your sun, which are these are the three strongest and best planets in the heavens. And that simply means that behind the scenes you can be blessed, Cancer, and very happy or very lucky right now. Not in a gambling sense, but sort of lucky to be alive and lucky to have wonderful friends. But Mars is also in Pisces, and that's where this busyness behind the scenes, or even a possible element of danger, can be. And so, even though you can be blessed by the planets that are in Pisces trining your sign, which are so good, it's like they're heaven sent, they will bring you the happiness you desire, Cancer. And if you have been involved in anything sad or anything that was hard to take, you can heal from that and be really healed, be over that, which is good. Still, you need to be aware that there is danger lurks in hidden places, so you do need to keep your guard up a little bit. Okay, what does it mean to a Leo? Well, Leo, this is a time when, yes, you're very lucky because the sun is in Aries trining your sun. Well, the sun is your ruler, Leo. Well, that's good. Your ruler's in good aspect to your sun sign. But yours is a fixed sign. And the full moon in Libra on Saturday is sextiling your sun. Okay, so this weekend, the lights are going to favor you, Leo, which is good. The sun in Aries will be trining your sun. The full moon in Libra will be sextiling your sun. That's fine. That does not make you immune to the fallout from a power purge, though. Okay? And so, what it does mean is that if you were involved in any way or connected to a power purge, which would be for the good of the organization, wouldn't be personal, it would be for the good of the future of the organization. At least, if you were involved in that, Leo, you would right away be able to turn around and make a new start and have new partners at the same time. Lucky you. And that is because the sun is in Aries, trining your sun, and the full moon in Libra is sextiling your sun. Remember, Libra does rule partnership. Now, that full moon is really under severe duress, and so is the sun. Because the problem isn't that the sun and the moon are creating indecision and confusion because they oppose each other. The problem is that Pluto is at the fateful 29th degree in Capricorn, and a power play, or what I would call a power purge, is going to occur in some organization at a pretty high level that represents changes in management. And it is not due to personal animosity, but it can be due to a variety of reasons, so that someone is out of a lucrative job. But if that someone was you, Leo, you could turn right around and start something new with another partner. That, you could do that. You could just turn on a dime and go in a new direction. It would be very easy for you. And so I would suggest you do that, because there are 3 planets in fixed signs, and that affects your sun sign. Uranus and Mercury in Taurus are squaring your sun, and Saturn in Aquarius is opposing your sun. Something that has been around you for at least a few years and has sort of weighed you down or worried you or depressed you is going to end soon. And that will be good. Saturn actually is the only planet left in Aquarius, but it is going to leave by December. So that period of life will be over for you, Leo. And wouldn't it be nice if you had a new beginning somewhere before that happens, so that you could just sort of skip on to something new? That could happen. That would be nice. And that is possible. So my advice to you is don't get mired in current controversy or in yesterday's problems. Just keep your focus on something new and see where it leads you. Because Jupiter is coming into Aries in May and will trine your sun. And so this summer you should be doing something new. So good luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Virgo? Virgo. This is a time when you can be feeling more fortified, or maybe not lonely, because you have more people around you that are more your type. And why is that? Because now there's 3 planets in the Earth signs, and they're all trining your sun. Pluto, which is a very powerful planet right now, which is representing management at a very high level, that is probably going to make a power purge somewhere in an organization in order to quell mounting dissatisfaction, and it's for the betterment of the organization. So it's not a personal decision, it is really an organizational decision, but it's going to involve a power purge. And I think you're sort of out of that. You may hear about it, Virgo. One, I don't think it's happening to you, and I don't think it's even coming within any kind of a distance of touching you either. And that is because Pluto represents that in Capricorn, and it's squaring the lights, okay? And it is trining your sun. If anything, this is a time when you may be considered for a promotion. Or there could be some sort of expansion of the department that you work in, or an expansion of your duties in one way or another, which would be very beneficial for you. You should accept that. Because Pluto is trining your sun at the 29th degree in Capricorn, and now Mercury, your own ruler, is in Taurus along with Uranus. In fact, those two are conjuncting each other today, and they are both trining your sun. So, even though the full moon in Libra is right ahead of your sun sign, if I were you, I would just keep working, Virgo, because there's something in your career that's going to be going pretty well. And I don't know if it's involving the work that you do, or if it's involving something like your retirement, because Capricorn does rule retirement. And I don't mean that you would be retiring. What I mean is that you may be, since there's an easing of financial problems, you may be moving your investments around a little bit in a more profitable way. That could happen to you too. So good luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Libra? Oh, Libra, that full moon is in your sign on Saturday. Now, it's getting hammered though. And you know, the moon in Libra is very docile. Libra loves beauty and peace. And the moon, you know, you could want everything to be beautiful. But that moon is being opposed by the sun in Aries exactly, meaning that someone else in your life, Libra, wants to take off and make a new start. You may as well say yes. Help them pack. Libra, the reason why is they're going to do it anyway. And why not do it with good cheer? And that could represent some sort of power purge, because maybe they're just feeling like they want to be out on their own and away from from powerful restrictions of some kind. So I'll bless them and send them on their way, because, you know, since the full moon is in your sign on Saturday, it simply means that you may want to spend a rather quiet day, or a peaceful day, or be around things that are sort of calming and soothing to you. And yet, there is a change that someone else is making in their life that is sort of like a separation change. And it could be that a kid is going off to college. Or it could be that somebody wants to move out of state because they have a better job somewhere else. Something like that. But be sure and you know, show goodwill as they go. You know, keep the lines of communication open. But you also could be exposed in one way or another to a power purge. And that is because Pluto in Capricorn at the 29th degree of fate is squaring that moon, full moon in your sign at 27 degrees. It's almost an exact square. And so if there was a power purge and you were involved in any kind of government program, for instance, there could be a real change. There could be new rules involving a government program, and they may not favor you. And so you have to be a little bit careful and don't assume that everything's going to stay the same, Libra. Now, you have very powerful friends, and you have old friends who think quite a bit of you. And that is because Saturn in Aquarius is trining that full moon in your sign. That's very good. When the moon and Saturn trine each other, that is generally a sign that parents are agreeing about something. And so maybe there's something that if you have children that, you know, the parents would be in agreement about. So that would be all right too. But I would be careful because remember, Mars is in Pisces now. Danger lurks in hidden places. So you have to sort of keep your defenses up if you can. Okay, what does it mean to a Scorpio? Scorpio. This is a time when I think that you could be affected by a power purge that can be made. Now, the reason why I think that you can be affected by it is because Pluto is your ruler. You have two rulers, Mars and Pluto. And Pluto is at the 29th degree of fate in Capricorn, which rules large corporations and government agencies and institutions. And it rules all kinds of large organizations. But the post office is a large organization. Capricorn rules that because they go through protocols and procedures to get all that mail delivered. Do you see what I mean? They're big and they have protocols. So any group that is big and needs to go forward with their main goals could be making some sort of power purge now. And that would be in case there was a contentious partnership that was getting on people's nerves. That could be a reason to say goodbye to somebody. It could be that there's a contract that the terms were not exactly met, so the contract becomes null and void. And that is why somebody could go. It could be that somebody's making petty power plays behind the scenes, and when the news comes out, it is really disturbing to a lot of other people. And so somebody's going to lose a lucrative job. It's not you, Scorpio. But that's how that Pluto, your ruler, is working now at the 29th degree of fate in Capricorn, squaring the sun in Aries and squaring the full moon in Libra on Saturday. And so if you are in a position to be the head of something, it may fall to you to make a decision. That, you know, you could call it a power purge, but it's not personal. It would be based on what would be best for the organization. So there are going to be changes at the top. But it's something that I think, you know, you could actually feel better about once it was done. Now why? Because there's all these planets in Pisces that trine your sun. And so that simply means that Venus, Jupiter, and Neptune in Pisces, which are wonderful planets, are trining your sun, probably bringing you better partners and easier times, no contention at all, and something that is behind the scenes but could represent a blessing in your life, something that you'd feel blessed with. At the same time, Mars has gone into Pisces. So you too have to keep your guard up because danger lurks behind the scenes. So I would say you're going to be blessed and probably benefit from some sort of power purge. I don't think it's your power purge. You may even, if you're high enough in management, you could be the person that's making the decision. And it would be based very objectively on what the goals of the organization were and can they be met. And if there's a reason, you know, something that is disturbing people, then whoever's doing the disturbing could lose a lucrative job, but that would probably ease the tension in the organization and help the organization work better. So that would be sort of a good reason to do it. But I think that I think behind the scenes you're going to be very happy about something, very blessed. But just keep your defenses up a little bit, Scorpio. Although Mars trines your sun, if danger lurks behind the scenes, I don't think it's going to hurt you. Maybe the exposure of the danger will actually help you. Who knows? Okay, what does it mean to a Sagittarius? Sagittarius. Well, you know, Sagittarius, you sort of have to get ready to roll. And the reason why is that sun in Aries is trining your sun, which is wonderful. Now, it's taken a bit of a beating because on Saturday it's being opposed by the full moon in Libra, and it's being squared very harshly by Pluto at the 29th degree in Capricorn, indicating a power purge is likely. And so, you know, you could be the person that is not exactly caught in the middle, but I would say is lucky to be untouched. And by that I mean that Pluto in Capricorn is right ahead of your sun sign. So you know some people that are at the top in management, and some of them are going to be doing a power purge for the good of the organization. They'll have to. And but you know, there's nothing in your sign, Sagittarius. So you may be pretty close to whoever's going to make the power purge, but I don't think it's you. And then that full moon in Libra, that sextiles your sun, and the full moon in Libra is being squared by that Pluto and opposed by the sun. So it's under duress too, but Saturn in Aquarius is trining it. So there are elements of change going on around you, Sagittarius. And believe it or not, I think that you're just in the middle of it, but not going to be touched by it. And believe me, you're the lucky one. I don't think you're going to be touched by it. So you could see it going on, and I would say be sure and make no comment, be as quiet as possible. Don't draw attention to yourself, because I think you're going to be untouched. But you do have to anticipate the future. And that sun in Aries is trining your sun. And Jupiter is going into Aries in May. And that will trine your sun also. And so there is the possibility that if you are somewhat quiet right now, Sagittarius, you could be able to make some sort of rather large leap soon. by the end of spring, certainly anytime in the summer. That's why, you have to think of, okay, I don't want to mess up what I do tomorrow, so I better be quiet today. That's how I would hope you would think about this right now. Don't get involved in anything that is today's pressure, because tomorrow you're going to have a chance to do, I don't mean within 24 hours, I mean this summer or this spring, you're going to have a chance to do something that you would like or prefer much better. So save yourself for that, is what I'm saying. Okay, what does it mean to a Capricorn? Capricorn. This is a time when I think you realize that you are sort of coming into your own power. And you should realize that because Pluto has been in your sign for years, and it is a planet of power. Pluto is one of the co-rulers of Scorpio, and it rules deep psychological transformation and change. And that comes about when everything is sort of blows up in a person's life and they are left with the truth. And you could be in a position to be facing the truth right now, Capricorn. And even though the lights are squaring your sun sign, which means the sun in Aries is squaring Pluto in your sign, and the full moon on Saturday in Libra is also squaring your sign, I think that what you're thinking of is sort of how far you've come, and how strong are you in your position now. There's a great difference between doing the job and realizing how successful you've been in the job. Because when a person is just sitting there, a little nose to the grindstone, working away for years doing their job, they tend not to think much about their own efforts. They just become routine and they just keep working. But there comes a time when you have to realize how you've changed and how powerful you have become. You could be much better at something, some skill that you've developed. It could be now at a higher point than that you always wanted it to be, but you never bothered to recognize it. Well, now there can be other people that are recognizing, ooh, you do know what you're doing. And they can be very happy to acknowledge that for you. See, that's what I mean by there's a difference between you doing the job and realizing how far you've come in it. And I think this is a time when other people can be confused, but they're not, I don't think they're too confused about what you're doing. Maybe it's pretty easy for them to take you for granted because you're so steady. That's okay. There is more money coming your way because Mercury and Uranus are conjuncting in Taurus, and they are trining that Pluto in your sign. I'm not so sure you're looking for more money, but if you are, it is coming your way. It is headed your way. You could probably raise your hand, if someone could say, does anybody want a good job? If you raised your hand, you'd probably get it. So I think that you are coming into a very definitive sense of your own power right now. For that reason, you may want to make a power purge. By that, I mean there could be some things in your life that you realize, okay, there's only 24 hours in the day. I can't do all of that and do this too. And you're going to have to sort of, make a turn somewhere. Maybe even turn in a new direction and take all your talent with you. Okay, so you're not in the experimental stage anymore, and no one else thinks you are either. People can see your talent. And this is the time to step forward and acknowledge it. That's all I'm saying. Be good for you. Okay, what does it mean to an Aquarian? Oh, Aquarius. some of the pressure is off you, I think, because Mars is no longer in your sign. Ooh, last week, Mars and Saturn were both conjuncting at the 23rd degree in your sign and being squared by Uranus in Taurus. There could have been some sort of fight about money, or there could be some sort of standoff about money where people were not agreeing. And I would say, Aquarius, I'm not sure you won the argument. You might have lost it, because the financial pressure was a lot last week. But remember, I said it's not so much this week. And that is because Mercury has now moved into Taurus. It's joined Uranus there. And together they are squaring Saturn in your sign. Well, that's not as bad. There's only 2 malefic planets there. And so that's why I think the pressure is off you a little bit right now. Or else, even if you lost an argument about money, that doesn't mean that all doors are closed. It means you just have to go knock on some other door. So that could be fine. The full moon in Libra does trine your sun on Saturday. There could be some other person that would be quite an appealing partner that could sort of walk into your life this weekend or sometime next week. So that's what I mean. If you don't get what you want where you are, Aquarius, wait a few days, because that full moon is going to trine your sun, which is good. And there's only Saturn in your sun sign now. So some of the pressure is off you. But it might be off you because there could have been a power purge behind the scenes that may have affected you. But that is, I don't think you should worry about that, Aquarius, because there can be another partner coming along very soon. And under that full moon in Libra, which trines your sun. So Aquarius, just remember, life is sort of like a revolving door. The door keeps moving, and we just have to keep going through things, keep trying. And sometimes that leads us in new directions, and that's fine. Aquarius rules the future. You should be going in a new direction. So I wish you the best of luck. Even if you didn't think you knew what you were doing, I think you're going to meet somebody else that can really help you out, a new partner. So look forward and look up. The stars are with you. Okay, what does it mean to a Pisces? Pisces. Well, Pisces, there can be trouble lurking behind the scenes because Mars has just come into your sign. Now, Mars doesn't like being in Pisces. Why? Because one of the things that Pisces rules, since it's a double-bodied mutable sign, it can rule, it's a sign of the 2 fish. One fish is leaping high, wanting to do their very best, and the other fish is heading down for the mud. It sort of wants to see what's around. And so Pisces rules escape, and it can be escape in the form of alcoholism, drug addiction, or sexual promiscuity. The things that get you in trouble and that really prevent you from being the wonderful person that you really are. And so Pisces, this is a time when you have 3 of the best planets you will ever have in your sun sign. Venus, Jupiter, and Neptune, your own ruler, are in your sign. And that simply means that you could really be that one that's trying to do their best. You're trying to reach up. You could be on the verge of starting something new because the sun is in Aries right ahead of your sun sign. But there can be sort of confusion and indecision about that, but still, it seems that there could be a new beginning on your horizon, Pisces. Only just make sure that you are aiming all of your energy up to where you can do your best. And if there are a few little bad habits that you have picked up along the way on the road of life, maybe this is a time when you're going to need to purge those. Maybe the power purge is within you, where you have to say, okay, I've got to give this up. And that is because something better awaits you, and you know it. And you do happen to be completely right about that. You know, Mars was going to want to tempt you to go low. Well, don't listen. Forget it. Keep your defenses up. Don't let anybody talk you into anything that would allow you not to be at your best. Because the other 3 planets have more weight in your sign. Venus, Jupiter, and Neptune. Neptune's the strongest planet in the heavens. It's the only one that's in its own sign. It's the ruler of it. So really, listen to your best side and follow that. And if you're starting something new, I think that you might start it very softly, but I would say it has the potential to really be successful this summer when Jupiter goes into Aries. So do your best, Pisces. And just remember, Pisces, you're worth it. That's why you should do your best, because you're worth it. All right. Thanks so much for tuning in. I will be happy to send you the show. If you'd like to subscribe to it on my Karen Campbell YouTube channel, I can send it to you and to your friends every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'd love to do that. So you take care, and I will see you next week. Bye.